Hi there, it's Tasha Belix, and I'm doing a very quick little vlog here today around stress. We're leading into the holidays, there are exams on people's plates, lots of things that come up, especially with the darker days and less time outside in the beautiful weather. Stress is something that people talk about. I often bump into people and they talk about how busy they are. I could say the same thing about me if I chose to. I choose not to use that language because a lot of the things that I commit to do are completely done by my own choice. And I love what I do. So I can't say that I'm busy. I have a full life and it's great to fall asleep every night when I go to bed. I would like this to be very practical. We know that people talk a lot about stress nowadays. It is not something that can be taken away, but most definitely it's something that we want to bring that baseline down so we have a better way to cope with it, so that it's not something that affects our learning and our sleep and our immunity and our grouchiness and even our ability to problem solve. So a bit of stress is adaptable. It is part of what was around when dinosaurs were walking on this earth. Our body gets activated for quick action, and that's a stress response. We have cortisol, adrenaline rushing through our system, and it helps us jump into action. But it's not meant to be on for a sustained amount of time. So our cortisol, our adrenaline goes up, our heart might beat a little bit faster, we kind of get activated and ready to do something. And then what we'd like to see is you do the event, the math test, the running race, the hard conversation with your friend, and then we want that stress response to come down again. And what is happening with a lot of people nowadays is that stress level doesn't really have a chance to come down that much, and it's coming back up again because there's the next thing to do and there's not a real rest and time to recharge. And when that happens, that's when stress gets into the not so helpful space. And a 1% shift to how we interpret stress, or how our family supports us through it, or our school system, or our partner, can make a huge difference to someone's life. So here are some 5 quick tips to manage your stress better. Number 1, stay the heck away from caffeine. So caffeine, whether it's in the form of Coke, black tea, green tea, coffee, it is enticing to use stimulants of this nature to get through a hard day. I need to stay up extra late studying, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. But what that caffeine does is it does the same thing that stress does. It increases our heart rate. It doesn't help us really focus that well. We have a high and then a low. And the more that we can use sleep and drinking water and eating good food and resting when we need to and having fun, and can leave caffeine sort of to the side, the better. So I'm a huge coffee drinker, and I think I would actually be more stressed out if I tried not to drink coffee. But when I hit that lull in the afternoon, instead of grabbing the coffee or the muffin or the whatever you want to quickly give you an energy buzz, grab a piece of fruit, grab a big glass of water, and put something in your body that could be more helpful for you. Next, I like teaching kids, and adults, we can do it as well, chocolate chip cookie breathing. So imagine you have, the dinger goes off in your oven and you've got chocolate chip cookies that are ready to come out of the oven. You might likely do a nice deep breath, because it smells so good. And then as you breathe out, you might say, mmm. So it's a nice deep breath in, slow and deep, like you're smelling chocolate chip cookies, and a deep exhale out. And kids get that. They know what chocolate chip cookies smell like. Some kids are like, oh, it's banana muffins. That's what I love. Roast beef for me. But you would think of that smell that is so intoxicating, and that's how you cue yourself to just do a few deep breaths. Taking a pause and doing some deep breathing, called mindfulness, although if you call it that, kids tend to go, because it hasn't always been prevented in the most fun way. We know that it's incredibly helpful for reducing that stress response, and there's tons of neat research coming out around how helpful it is for emotion regulation, just finding ways to kind of cope with pain even, and minimize our fears and just get a good night's sleep. So definitely keep that one in mind. Another one is the lemon squeeze. So imagine you have a nice juicy lemon in your hand, and I want you to think about squeezing it really hard. And as you take a deep breath in for 5, I want you to squeeze that lemon even harder as you breathe out. Keep it squeezed though. And then breathe in again for 5. And squeeze that lemon even harder, like you want to get all the juice out of it. Keeping it squeezed, we want to breathe out. And then again, a nice deep breath in. And then again, squeeze it as hard as you can. Keep it squeezed there. Slowly let your breath out. This time, we're going to breathe in. And on the breath out, slowly start to let that hand relax. A nice deep breath in again. And slowly let that hand relax. It's hard to kind of let it go. A nice deep breath in. And slowly let that hand relax. My hand cannot even let go of the lemon at this point. It feels hot, kind of sweaty. I think I even pushed my nails into my hand there. But again, a nice way to bring some focus to something in our body away from some of the racing thoughts. There's also one that I like to call the karate chop. We've got this acupressure point right here on our hand, on the chubby part. And if we hit this spot, I'm hitting it pretty firmly, it helps to reduce the cortisol in our body, which helps to reduce our stress response. So you might be working on a project, finishing a deadline, worried about what you're going to wear to your Christmas party. I don't know what you got going on that's upsetting you. You're angry at a teacher. You've got too much homework. How could this happen? Why did you get called in that at the last minute? But you can let all those angry thoughts, frustrated thoughts go through your head. What's making you feel sad right now? What's making you feel overwhelmed? And as you do that, I want you to keep tapping that karate chop spot. And again, this is a really effective way to bring your stress response down and can really calm a system down pretty fast. And lastly, I think we sometimes want to add tools to our toolbox instead of maybe sinking back and repeating things that we know filled us up when we were younger. So I often think of, and I get people to think of a time when they felt really happy and really relaxed and almost like their best self. And usually people can remember instances of playing by a beach or being in nature or just drawing, but not to be evaluated, not to move to the next level or advance to an elite group, but just for the joy of it. And anytime we do something that is heartfelt, that is we're doing and we're choosing to do just because we love it, you have to know you're engaging kind of the right brain, that creative space. It's incredibly recharging to do something that goes away from task-oriented work. I need to get it done. It needs to be done right, to jump into that creative space where it really is, it's nourishing to our soul and really fills us up. And so that might be a piece of getting reconnected to something that you loved to do when you were younger, or when you felt like, oh, I had enough time to write poetry before I went to bed, but I don't now. I would almost challenge you to give yourself that 5 minutes. 15 would be beautiful, but something that you do every day just for the pure joy of it. And so it's kind of like, one of my mentors calls it being selfish. Being selfish is the neatest gift that we can give to ourselves. And that really is taking a moment to sort of look inside and ask ourselves, what does myself need? And give ourselves the time and the space to be able to give ourselves the best gift we can, because no one else is going to give it to us because they really don't know what we need. So a 1% shift is the key here. It's not a life change, snow globe, shake up your world, but a 1% shift in how you approach your day or start your morning, or what you reach for in the afternoon to give you a pick-me-up, or what you do when you find yourself getting frustrated when it feels like there's just too much to do. Remember, as always, to breathe and be well. And I hope this little stress tip keeps you happy and healthy through the holidays. Take care. Bye.